everybody, and today I'll be reviewing All-Star Superman, which is a graphic novel. So, All-Star Superman, oh yeah, and by the way, Batman's behind me because I do not own any Superman movies or graphic novels, so this is what we're stuck with right now. Um, I read this because it was at the library, and I was like, why not? So I read it, and I honestly think this is something that could get me interested in the character of Superman. So before this, my only exposure to Superman was Batman, Superman, and Man of Steel, and it was like, okay, he's Superman, he's cool, he's whatever, and he has powers, but it's not like I really cared for him at all. Like, it's not like character I really felt like, okay, I'm attached to this character. Like, Batman, he's my favorite superhero, I feel like attached to him. He's like a character that I actually, like, really like. Superman, not so much, up until I read this book. This book is excellent. So I want to go over the basic plot, and when I say basic plot, it's like the beginning of the whole story, and then we'll go from there. The story is about after being exposed to the sun, like really close to the sun, Superman's cells start dying, and he slowly is dying, and that's not good. So as he's dying, he wants to find a way that he wants to find a successor, or find a way that when he's gone, the world can be okay. He wants to make sure he can do as much good as he can before he's gone. He just wants to set everything up for when he is eventually dead. So let's get the good things. I like Superman. He's a cool character, and I don't know what else to say. I like him. I find it kind of weird that Lois Lane doesn't know who Superman is. In the beginning, like she's like, oh, I'm Clark Kent. She's like, oh, this is a joke. And for almost the entirety of the book, she's just like, you have to be joking. You're not actually Clark Kent. And I'm like, they look the same. There's a lot of stuff like that in this book. Like, it's just not even in this book, it's just Superman in general. It's like, they look the same. I don't know. It's just stuff like that that really gets on my nerves. But it's not that big of a deal, so I guess I could overlook that. The cool thing is, I think it's cool to see a story where Superman is dying, because it's interesting to see how he deals with that. Like, if Batman and Superman, he's over here, oh, they don't like me, maybe I should just not be Superman, but here, he literally knows he's gonna die, but he doesn't even fight it. He just says, okay, well, I might as well do as much good as I can before I'm gone, and I might as well prepare the world for when I'm gone. And yeah, that's what he does, and I kind of like that. Also, the action is pretty cool. There isn't a ton of it, but the action that is there is cool. So I'll give him props for that. I did like the action. It was cool stuff to see. There was one fight in particular that didn't last very long, but that I really liked. It was between Superman and one other character. I'm not going to say who it is, but it's really cool. And one cool thing I noticed is that it's not Doctor Strange levels of weird, but it's like, there's stuff that's happening that's just like really weird. It's just like, oh, there's aliens from this planet, and there's these people, and there's Bizarro, and just all this weird stuff. And it's really cool to see, and Superman has to deal with all this, and I kind of leads to a problem, though. A lot happens in the story. It's relatively long for a graphic novel, but not all of it is required. If some of it was there to pad out the length of the book, some of the stuff had no impact on the overall plot. Like, if it didn't happen, if Superman did fight this character, this whole thing didn't happen, or etc., the whole, like, it wouldn't have affected anything. The ending would have still been the same. Everything would have still been the same. So it's just like, I don't know, I can't help but feeling that like good half this book could have been just entirely just removed, and I wouldn't even care. It would have been a lot shorter, but it'd still be a good book, and it'd be a good one that doesn't try to. It's like, I'm going to compare to Batman and Superman. How there's a lot of like little, but I think Batman and Superman actually, like, even those plot lines were more important. Like, I'm talking about the theatrical cut, happens with Ultimate Edition, but like even those plot lines, like the Lois Lane thing with the bullet, even that makes more sense than, even that's more necessary than some of the plot lines in this book. I feel like they're not all necessary, and it kind of does detract from it a little bit. It's like, I don't really see why, like, a good amount of this book was even needed to be in the book. But I do think it's an enjoyable book, and it's a good book. I don't know, I just really like the whole idea of Superman is dying. Because it's interesting to see how he reacts, and even though there are flaws, I think the whole basic premise, and that alone is enough to overlook those. So I say, and remember, for graphic novels, I just do it, I like it or I didn't like it. I want to say I like this one. This was a book that I'd say is worth reading. And if you're not into I've never read Superman comic before this, and the thing is, I could read and understand. You don't have to have any other prior knowledge, and the reason is it's part of the All Star line. It's All Star Superman, and they also have like All Star Batman and Robin, but which I've heard is crap. But this it's like it's part of the All Star line. What that means is that they're able to write whatever story they wanted to, and it'd be outside of the main DC continuity, and also be kind of like you wouldn't have like I haven't read any other Superman stories before that point, but I was able to understand it. So I do think this is also a good starting point for people who want to check out Superman. And yeah, so I liked it, and I say you'll like it too. If you haven't read Superman, this is the place to start.